brought up by religious crackpots. And looking back, I feel that if I'd heard someone just come along and say, it's a load of bullshit, I really feel that would have helped enlarge my thinking. Because when I went to school, I was abusive to teachers who were talking about geology and biology. Is there any way that we can inform the world, or all 12-year-olds in the world, that religion is a load of bullshit?
This protest the Pope campaign is a very broad coalition. We include Catholics and non-Catholics, and we should never forget that most British Catholics reject the Pope's teachings on contraception, abortion, homosexuality, and priestly celibacy. The Pope is out of touch with British Catholic opinion on all these issues.
Higher Ground Empowerment Center is a small church in the heart of Atlanta's Vine City, the neighborhood Martin Luther King Jr. once called home. Now the church could lose its renovated building in a legal storm. Due to fewer members, less giving, and a decline in property value, the church can't pay its $1 million mortgage.
They want their property. They want us out. And there is no more negotiation with the bank. They want us out now.
Find churches with foreclosure notices and locked doors.
I need to cry.
Pastor Darrell Winston found his church's belongings dumped in the parking lot last July.
It's just been for us a major learning curve, and
More than 100 churches are up for sale in metro Atlanta. About a third are foreclosed properties. It's a concept Mercer thinks may grow as the number of church foreclosures climbs in Georgia, California, Michigan, Florida, Texas, and other states.
Suffering. Church buildings themselves are beginning to be foreclosed upon. Just a few months ago, a review of the filings in the Thomson Reuters Westlaw legal database showed that foreclosure proceedings against U.S. churches have nearly tripled since December of 2007, when the recession officially began. This is a troubling statistic because, as history and the banking industry demonstrate, church foreclosures have virtually been non-existent in the past. Then came this week's Wall Street Journal report, which stated that since 2008, nearly 200 religious facilities have been foreclosed on by banks. Analysts and bankers are warning that hundreds of additional churches face financial struggles so severe that they could face foreclosure or even bankruptcy in the near future. The roots of models on cheap loans and a build it and they will come mentality are now facing gargantuan debt loads, lower investment returns, and weak donations due to the energy crisis. In fact, according to research conducted by the Barnett Group, more than half of U.S. churches claim to have been financially impacted by the recession. One church in six claims that. But before you believe this, as we all know, our current economic crisis is far from over, and its corresponding real estate crisis is still wreaking major havoc all across the country, with many believing that 2011 will be the worst year yet.
Hey you, it's me, Sarah Silverman. You know, lately I've noticed a lot of really sad, really long commercials on TV with like grossly sick, emaciated people from all over the world, and it turns out they look that way because They don't have food. And I know what you're thinking. If you don't like it, Silverman, TiVo past it. I did. You still see them. Especially because, like, I have a 48-inch plasma high-def TV. So every devastating image is in, like, brilliant, crisp, vivid, like they're in my apartment, you know. So how do I get these people out of my apartment, basically? And I think I figured it out. Like, all I have to do is end world hunger. And then I'm like, okay, how are you going to end world hunger? And then it hit me. Sell the Vatican, feed the world. Think about it. We need a hero, and who is more primed to be our hero than the Pope? He's literally a caped crusader. What is the Vatican worth, like $500 billion? This is great. Sell the Vatican, take a big chunk of that money, build a gorgeous condominium for you and all of your friends to live in, all the amenities, swimming pool, tennis court, water slide. And with the money left over, feed the whole fucking world.
The Vatican rules over approximately 2 billion of the world's 6.1 billion people. The colossal wealth of the Vatican includes enormous investments with the Rothschilds in Britain, France, and the USA, and with giant oil and weapons corporations like Shell and General Electric. The Vatican solid gold bullion worth billions is stored with the Rothschild-controlled Bank of England and the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. The Catholic Church is the biggest financial power, wealth accumulator, and property owner in existence, possessing more material wealth than any bank, corporation, giant trust, or government anywhere on the globe. The Pope, who is the visible ruler of this colossal global wealth, is one of the richest men on earth. While 2/3 of the world earns less than $2 a day, and 1/5 of the world is underfed or starving to death, the Vatican hoards the world's wealth, profits from it on the stock market, and at the same time preaches about giving. How did the Pope and Vatican accumulate all that wealth over the millennium? One method was to put a price tag on sin. Many bishops and popes actively marketed guilt, sin, and fear for profit by selling indulgences. Worshippers were encouraged to prepay for sins they hadn't yet committed and get pardoned ahead of time. Those who didn't pay up risked eternal damnation in Satan's oven. Pope Leo X rebuilt St. Peter's Basilica, selling tickets out of hell and tickets to heaven. During the Dark Ages, the Catholic Church not only hoarded the wealth they collected from the poor, but hoarded knowledge. They kept the masses ignorant and in the dark by denying them a basic education.
Following closely today is the Committee for Responsible Budget meeting in Washington. During an address to the committee, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said a failure to raise the nation's debt limit could result in severe market disruptions. CBC's Hampton Pearson is at the event. He joins me now with the highlights of that panel. Hampton.
Well, Maria, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke speaking out this afternoon about what he described as debt ceiling brinksmanship, the notion of the Obama administration and congressional leaders going right down to the August 2nd wire before reaching some kind of an agreement on raising the government's $14.3 trillion debt limit.
Or even a short suspension of payments on principal or interest on the Treasury's debt obligations would cause severe disruptions in financial markets and the payment system, induce rating downgrades of U.S. government debt, create fundamental doubts about the creditworthiness of the United States.
As far as the deficit reduction plan itself, the Fed chairman said it should be long-term to give time for businesses and individuals to adjust to changes in tax policy and government programs. And he said major short-term spending cuts could damage the very fragile economic recovery.
Failure to put our fiscal house in order will erode the vitality of our economy, reduce the standard of living in the United States, and increase the risk of economic and financial instability.